Hey folks, Carl here for Baker Models, and welcome to episode, what do you call it, episode 1 or episode 2, because we did the intro episode. I think we should call it episode 1. So this episode, plan was to do the complete construction build. However, it's taken longer than expected, so in this video we're going to cover the wheels, getting the wheels fitted, getting this back plate done here of the exhaust, the jack, fuel tanks, fitting of the axles and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's carry on. So, start off with the wheels. Where are my cutters? Cutters. Where are you? Ooh, I know where they are. Miles away. Okay. So, that way. I'm going to want those. Okay, so there's quite a lot of wheels on this. If you can see on this here, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 14 wheels on each side. For some bizarre reason, it's stating that this back wheel here, you've got to cut the pins off the back of these here. So I'm not going to do that, because not just yet, not till I have to. So I should probably take a look once we've got all the wheels off and made up to see if it actually needs to come off or not. So if we're going to build the first one, the very front sprocket first, so one of those. And one of those. So this goes on there, thusly with the D3. That pushes into the centre of there, and that has got a small locating pin and hole there like that, and they should line up, and they do indeed. So drop that back in there and try our best not to get any glue on that part. So some glue. I'm just going to glue around that edge there. Any best. And that glue doesn't quite reach. So we are going to put a little bit of glue in the hole on each of these outcrops. And try again. Like so. And there we go. Needs a little bit of tidying up, but we'll do that once it's dry. So that's the front wheel. Now it looks like the rest of these wheels don't have any work, there's no gluing stuff together, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of them off and make that other one, and I shall speed up the video so you're not sitting through and falling asleep. Talk to you shortly. Okay, that's all those off. Now all of these are going to need filing because they've all left little nubs on, and it looks like there's a little bit of a seam line on there as well, so I'm going to go and sand all these down with sanding sticks, something a little bit finer as well. Nice nail stick, these are perfect for just buffing. Also, in the last video I stated I have no idea what these are for. Apparently these, let me cut one off, these little sticks, if you look on the instructions, these go through, nearly knocked that over then, through the bottom of the hull, through these holes here, and they're actually another, looks like a movable axle. So these should just fit. They'll need to be cleaned up. Straight there, just like that. So now we know what those are for. Anyway, I'm going to crack on sanding this lot. Talk to you shortly. So, new camera blues. Just spent the last hour and a half recording some stuff, and some idiot didn't notice that it stopped recording after a minute. So, duh. And basically what we did was we stuck the front, zoom in a little bit. We stuck these in. We had a debate about these front bits, which are these, which I'm going to research because they just don't look right and they don't sit right in the model, so I'm going to take a look at that. And then we built up the back panel with the exhaust and stuff on. Again, there's a piece here, it looks like a jack, doesn't quite sit where it says to in the manual, it doesn't doesn't look as though it's supposed to be there, so I need to take a look at that as well. So we filed all this down, we put holes in the top of all these exhausts with a drill bit, which you can see just there. So we added those holes, and that's where we got up to. There's a lot of messing about and farting about. So I've just come back to record this bit after messing with the new camera for an hour or so. Just trying to work out why I hadn't recorded properly. So that's where we're up to. And the next part was, oh, we also put together the turret, which wasn't the greatest. Quite a mess, to be honest. It wasn't very well moulded. There's like a slight texture to it, so we need to, at the moment it's clamped together and drying. There was some holes in, oh, wrong way again. There were some holes where this seam joins, so what we did was we used the glue which melted the plastic, and we then forced it together. Now the holes are gone. These, something pointy, these gaps at the end of the turret were half filled in, so we've cut those away. They still need a little bit of work on them to smooth them out. So we're waiting on this to dry. And then we can smooth it all down, file it all down, get it all shaped properly. Nice big fingerprint in the middle of the barrel there as well. The barrel is slightly textured, so we need to do quite a bit of filing to take that texture off and tidy everything up. So that has got to be done as well. So that is where we're at the minute. A little bit annoyed about this camera. It takes a lovely picture. Obviously I need to learn how to use the damn thing. Idiot! So the next part of the build is going to be building up the turret and all this stuff and the hatches and all this, and then it's on to all the additional tooling and all that kind of stuff. So that is tomorrow's work, because it's getting late now, so I just thought I'd record this before I forget everything that I've done. So I shall carry on with this tomorrow. Okay, so where were we? Oh, I was debating on a few things. The first was the jack on the back of here. I've now decided, after looking at some other people's builds, to put that in, so that is now glued and fixed in place. The whole thing is now attached to the back of the tank. I also went ahead and glued these parts in, and also the axles that go through the centre of the tank. So that is now complete. I think the holes are looking quite good on the exhausts. You see it there. So I don't know if I've already covered it, but these were covered using the pin vise. With a bit in. Now the bit wasn't big enough to make the hole that size, so effectively they were put in into the hole and then rotated around to make the hole bigger. And they've turned out okay. So what I'm planning to do now is start to put the wheels on. So there's an awful lot of wheels and they go on in a very specific way. So back. The plan next, as I just said, was to put the start getting the wheels on. Before we do that, I've also finished the turret. When we glued it together, it was quite messy. There was very fine texture to the turret, and when we cut the nubs and everything off, obviously it smoothed those parts off. These gaps at the top, these ones were quite filled in, so we've cut those away a bit. We've opened up the tip a little bit more. Looks like it still needs a little bit of work on there, and we've smoothed off the whole turret and pretty much got rid of the whole seam line. There's still a few little bits in there, but suffice to say it's a heck of a lot better than it was. So yeah, you can still see a bit of a seam line there. So probably do a little bit more work on this, but for now we're going to get the wheels on. So there's an awful lot of these things, so I'm going to put them all on dry to start with and see how they all fit. So can we come in a little bit? So effectively these ones go on like this, they just drop on. 1, 2, 3 and 4. You then get see these ones? Yeah, you then get these ones that go like this. Doesn't that one fit on there? And then lastly you have these ones that fit over the top like so. And then these ones you have to bring it in like this and then put a touch of glue on to hold them together. And then you have your front sprocket for the track and your rear drive sprocket for the engine, which will need to go on before that one. There. Like so. So I'm going to go and do this on both sides. So I shall be right back. Okay, while I've been putting these on, there are some little hubcaps that just push into the end. Now these hubcaps are pushed as far in as I can get them without breaking something, but there's still a little bit of play. So these tracks aren't designed, well they are designed in the kit to move, but my model is going to be static, so I am going to put a dab of glue in them and pull them up to match and then glue them in place so they don't jiggle about. So I shall carry on I shall speak to you shortly. Okay, we've got one side glued and into place. Now there's a couple of things that I've had to change slightly. Let's zoom in so you can see it. The first one is this front wheel. If you want to get the tracks to fit down the length of the wheels, you need to push it in. So this, when I first glued it in, I glued it all the way into the body. So be careful of that, because I've test fitted the tracks on it, and in order to get the tracks to sit on this and the wheels, it had to come in slightly. Now it's the same with the back drive sprocket. Now I glued the hub to the wheel, but again, in order to get this to line up with the rest of the wheels with the track on it, that hub's going to have to sit proud like that. Otherwise you're going to have to start trimming the length of this, and I think the easiest thing to do is have the hub sit proud rather than trying to trim it off and making it too short. So still got the other side to do, and I don't want to put the tracks back on again because it's not really dry yet, so I'm going to carry on once these have had a little bit more drying time and get the other side put together. I thought it'd be worthwhile stopping and recording this bit just to show you that, so that if you do build this, you're aware of this issue and the issue with the hub in order to get them lined up properly. So I'll carry on and I'll speak to you shortly. Okay, we're almost done. There's one more thing I need to show you. Now, some of these wheels, just put this out of the way for a moment. Some of these wheels, even though they're the same, let me zoom in so I can show you a bit closer. So these, they look the same, all apart from the actual gap where they go onto the axle are different sizes. Now I didn't realise this until I come to do the second side, and I ended up with the middle wheels, one of them wouldn't fit on. The reason being, the same as this one, a slightly smaller hole. Why they've done it, I'm not 100% sure, but the smaller holes go on these end axles here and here. See, this one will fit quite nicely there, but it will not fit on this one. It'll only go to there. So, something else to watch out for. Certain of these wheels will not fit on the middle ones. They will only go on the very end wheel. So I'm going to put these last two on. So we're just gluing the end here, so that when we push this on, we can bring up this wheel here. Let me get something to lift it with. On, and then we can hold them together. So if I zoom that in, so that's a little bit, so just literally squeezing the two together to push them together until the glue takes hold, and then it's in with the little cap into the end. Now some of these will push all the way in and hold the wheels quite nicely, and others won't. That one's not too bad, but this one, as you can see here, there's a slight gap, so I've had to put a bit of glue on and bring it up into place so there's no gap. Same for this one, there was a small gap, so the glue is still drying on that one. It actually needs a little bit more. So, last one. So, a little bit of glue around the edge here, just so that other wheel that's underneath has got something to grip onto. It's a little bit too much. So, push it on and then pull the other wheel over the gap and then pull them together, like so. Give the glue a moment. Yep, and then on with the little cap. And that one hasn't got a gap on it, so we don't need to put any glue on that. So that is the base, the bottom hull, wheels and the exhaust system complete. Now I'm going to show you what I meant just by this and these little bits sticking out, and these bits at the back not lining up correctly to get the track on. So if we zoom it right in, so we're there like that. Now the track sits on these teeth. You can just see the track sticking through, like so. Oh, we've moved off camera. And then these centre teeth on the track go in between the two wheels. Now if we hadn't have lined those up correctly, the tracks would have tried to come either this way or this way, and they wouldn't have sat correctly. And the same with the rear one. If I can bring that up, that now sits as it should. Now the manual tells you to cut these rear teeth out on this, but I don't see why, because it fits into the centre of that track quite nicely. So I've left them on. So that is it finished. So all the wheels this side, all the wheels on this side, and we have two exhausts and the jack finished with the holes. Everything in. These look like fuel tanks or fuel holders or something like that. I'm not sure. So that is the bottom hull done. So I'm going to call that here on this video as the bottom hull section done. Next we should be working on the upper turret, this, putting it all together, finishing off that gun barrel and getting everything else finished and done in part 2. And then part 3 we'll see how we get on in part 3. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you've seen, give us a like. Any suggestions or anything you've done on this model that you think would be quite pertinent for myself and for anyone else that's building this, let us know. And we shall see you shortly in the next episode. So remember, keep making models, be good, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye now.